Alrighty.
So how you feeling?
Yeah, I feel good, man. It's day one.
Day one?
My fourth ever day one on Spider-Man. You know, it's funny, putting the suit on, it feels different this time, somehow. It's also the first time we've ever had fans on set for day one, so it's really exciting to share this with them.
You all good?
We've got some familiar faces on set.
Good to see you, man.
You know, I'm just going to do my best, hopefully get it right. No pressure.
I can't say for sure anything. But I can say nothing.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Happy birthday to Peter Parker inside the MCU. That's why Sony released a brand new Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer from behind the scenes with a whole bunch of new footage and Tom Holland talking about their days on the set as they begin filming again. There's a whole lot to unpack here. Many thanks to Herbie for stealing all this footage from the set. There's a whole lot going on during this, in addition to a bunch of other brand new footage with some Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield era Easter eggs, particularly Tobey Maguire, so we'll break it all down. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. The whole reason, like I said, why Sony is releasing this is because it is August 10th, and that's supposed to be Spider-Man Peter Parker's birthday inside the MCU. Also, a lot of people pointing out that he's probably spending that birthday alone because nobody is supposed to remember Peter Parker because of the spell, so it's going to be a very lonely kind of birthday. But if you take everything that the Sony people like Amy Pascal and Marvel Kevin Feige, those people have said about what's going on during the movie, it's been about 3 years or so since the events of Spider-Man No Way Home, and over that period, he's just been busy being Spider-Man 24/7 with a couple Tobey Maguire Easter eggs because he has to fill that time. He has to pay the rent. The rent is due.
Give me rent.
You'll get your rent when you fix this damn door!
So he's probably spending his birthday inside the MCU just saving people on the regular while he's also trying to work his part-time job and go to Empire State University during the day. There was an actual synopsis that did reference him going to school, so whether or not school is in session remains to be seen. Like, school might not be in session because there was also some Zendaya that was spotted on set for MJ-related scenes. She's supposed to be going to MIT as of the events of Spider-Man No Way Home, so we'll see how they address that. The easiest way is that they just say that school is not in session, they're on break, and that's why MJ and Ned Leeds are back in the New York City area and able to actually run into Spider-Man, or Spider-Man's able to run into them. Peter Parker is able to run into them. In the actual footage, when he's walking on set and someone's asking him, how do you feel about this? He's like, I actually feel pretty good. Like, this is meant to be their first day on set that they were filming. I've already done a video about all that footage because it's basically this giant tank fight scene in this chase that they've been filming for the last several days, which they'll continue to be filming in addition to a bunch of other scenes until the end of August. They were originally only going to be in Glasgow for a little while filming, but now they've extended that to like the end of the month, so there might actually be more trailers like this that Sony releases before the end of the month, but they're not going to be doing it every single day. In the trailer, at least at the beginning of the footage, the person who's talking to him off camera that you can't see is actually Tom Holland's brother, Harry Holland, who actually said that he edited this video, because in all that behind-the-scenes footage, you can actually spot him running next to Spider-Man in his costume, filming all the stuff that he's doing as he's running around the set getting ready to actually do the scenes. A little while after that, he posted on his Twitter that he was editing as quickly as possible, meaning that they were putting together a video like this. Apparently, Sony is just using it for their marketing for the movie, and it actually is fantastic. Whoever's marketing this movie, whoever's in charge of that, should actually get a pay raise. All this Spider-Man filming, just like these brief scenes that they're doing here, this is only going to be in the movie for maybe like 10 minutes or less. Like, this is just a chase that they're filming and a couple other side scenes. So it's actually a relatively small portion of the film if you're talking about like the entire runtime of the film, but it's brought them so much goodwill to Sony and to Marvel just in general that almost nobody is thinking about what's going on with Fantastic Four right now underperforming, or related MCU stuff underperforming this past year. We were joking a while ago, that's why Marvel is so happy that all this Spider-Man stuff is happening. Normally, you'd think they would try to lock the set down and prevent people from posting set pictures from behind the scenes, but now they're actually turning it into actual marketing. It's sort of the way that they started eventually using studio-orchestrated leaks in Tom Holland to drive hype for the Spider-Man and the other related Marvel movies, like the Avengers movies. Where eventually Tom Holland was not spoiling stuff, the studio was just having him release information that they wanted to get out there and making it seem like spoilers because it would drive it way more viral. You can actually see him go to greet the director, Destin Daniel Cretton, who was the director of the Shang-Chi movie. He was originally going to direct Avengers Kang Dynasty when that's what they were doing for Avengers 5 with Jonathan Majors as the Council of Kangs, like all the different versions of Kang. And then he was going to do Avengers 6 Secret Wars, and then he was also going to do Shang-Chi 2.
Yeah, I feel good, man.
Everything changed the day the Fire Nation attacked, like make all the Avatar The Last Airbender memes. Obviously, Marvel completely changed that plot. They brought back Robert Downey Jr. as a version of Doctor Doom. They changed Avengers 5 to Avengers Doomsday, and they brought the Russos back to direct both Doomsday and Avengers 6 Secret Wars. And on top of that, they decided to postpone Shang-Chi 2 till after Avengers Secret Wars and prioritize Spider-Man Brand New Day and brought him to direct that movie. Do not feel bad for Simu Liu that it's taken him this long to get a sequel to Shang-Chi, because that movie actually performed pretty well for being a pandemic-era movie where theaters were mostly closed when that was actually released. He's going to be a big character during Avengers Doomsday. Don't know if he's going to survive that to make it to Avengers Secret Wars, because it seems like most of the characters that they introduced during Avengers 5 are going to get killed by Doctor Doom or the collapse of the multiverse in some way. Gotta clear the Chairwatch bench roster in order to make room for all the other actors and cameos they want to have in Avengers 6 Secret Wars. Streets are also saying that Marvel is planning on doing another Chairwatch type of video by the end of the month that will announce Tom Holland's Spider-Man is also going to be in Avengers Doomsday. So look out, maybe we will get another Chairwatch type of video that isn't an actual Chairwatch, because I don't know if I can sit through another 6-hour Chairwatch just to see that Tom Holland is going to be in the movie, because we all know that he's going to be in the movie. You notice all this different footage. This is him behind the scenes just talking to the crowd. He actually grabs that little kid in the Spider-Man suit. The actual father of this person was posting later thanking people for actually reposting all the pictures of this too, because his son just absolutely loved this. If I were a little kid and Spider-Man grabbed me on set and started taking pictures with me, it would probably be the greatest day of my entire young life. There's a lot more footage of him on top of this tank. They've since revealed that it's actually the Punisher inside this tank, and Spider-Man is actually trying to stop the Punisher from trying to kill Scorpion in whatever's going on during this chase. So Spider-Man in the scene is technically fighting or trying to stop Punisher, while Punisher is trying to kill Scorpion, and Scorpion also still trying to kill Spider-Man, even though Spider-Man's technically trying to save him. So as you would expect, it's a suitably chaotic kind of moment, like very chaotic energy. Not totally sure if the Hulk is also involved in this scene too, because I haven't seen any motion capture rigs for the Hulk running around behind the tank or anything like that. Supposedly on set, there were people that were saying that they actually saw some costume double stuff for the Rhino character. So it is always possible that the Rhino is in this scene, or it's possible that the costume-related stuff that they saw, like the giant rig that they saw, wasn't so much for the Rhino, it was more for the Hulk. But even if you're not a hardcore Spider-Man fan, it is kind of hard to confuse the Rhino for the Hulk. So they actually might be right, and it really is the Rhino in the scene, which would make it feel way more like Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man era.
You want me to come down there so you can kill me?
Yes!
When it actually comes to the other new footage and some Tobey Maguire related Easter eggs, this is actually a bit of a deep cut that actually goes back to Spider-Man Homecoming as well too. It's more of a reference to that directly inside the MCU, but also has vibes of Tobey Maguire. You notice in a lot of these scenes, you actually spot him running around in a Mr. Delmar's Deli t-shirt, and he's inside the actual deli itself, and there's a picture of Mr. Delmar with Spider-Man posing. Now remember, Mr. Delmar, because of the spell, doesn't know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, so it sounds like he's just a Spider-Man fan because Spider-Man busy cleaning up the neighborhood around where his bodega is. So he's like a local hero to him and a hero to the people that live around this area, naturally. But it also makes it seem like Peter Parker is actually working at Delmar's bodega part-time to earn rent money. The rent is due. You have to pay the rent. When you rewatch Spider-Man No Way Home, they actually reference that off of screen. Like the person who's renting him the apartment says, the rent is due, ... just reminding him, making more Easter eggs for Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 2 when he got his apartment. Andy had gotten the part-time job at the pizza shop and was delivering pizza. Like that was the whole way they opened Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 2. it is pizza time for Peter Parker. He has to pay the rent. Like, there's so many memes that came out of that scene, but the whole idea is that he has to earn money to actually just live like a normal person, to actually have this apartment. So Peter Parker in the MCU, Tom Holland's version, has to do the same thing. While he's also busy trying to be Spider-Man 24/7, saving people around the neighborhood, being a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and go to class at Empire State University. All the things that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man was juggling during Spider-Man 2, and it wreaked absolute havoc on his life. Like, the whole idea is that he was just stretching himself way too thin, and it started to hurt all the different aspects of his life. So that's something that Tom Holland's Spider-Man is going to be dealing with during Spider-Man Brand New Day. The whole challenge of being a good Spider-Man, actually being a good superhero, but also being a dependable employee, probably not so much, and also being a good student, also probably not so much because he's so tired. He's been spending every single night as Spider-Man 24/7. So part of the idea is that Tom Holland's Spider-Man is experiencing all the same problems that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man experienced during Spider-Man 2. There's a bunch of other footage of him, too, visiting Aunt May's grave, going back there. You also see Zendaya with him here, too. I don't know if MJ is supposed to be related to these. I don't think that she's actually herself in these scenes as MJ. She's just there to support him on set. But they did say that MJ is supposed to be a character in the movie, an important part of the plot, but she's not really in that much of the movie itself. My assumption is that they're cycling the roster of characters around him, like in his orbit, like his friends in the movies, but Ned Leeds and MJ will still technically be his friends, but they won't remember him because of the spell, so he's still thinking about them during the events of the movie. He still runs into them at some point or sees them during the movie. My early assumption is that at some point in this next Tom Holland Spider-Man trilogy, either in this movie or in subsequent movies after Avengers Secret Wars, when everything changes and they reboot the MCU and some things change and some things don't change, they will all eventually remember that their friend, Peter Parker, is Spider-Man again. Either they'll figure it out on their own or something will happen and they'll just spot him without the mask on.
If you're meant to be with someone, you're meant to be with them.
When it actually comes to Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield actually physically coming back into the movies, there was a little while, you remember, that there was a tug of war going on over the story of Brand New Day and what they were actually going to be doing during the movie between Marvel and Sony, with Sony wanting it to escalate things and being more of an Avengers level movie than Spider-Man No Way Home was, with even more multiverse stuff, also bringing back Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in literal ways. So when they actually started releasing footage and teasers for the movie and fans were saying, we won, the whole idea is they were saying that Marvel basically won out and it was more of a street level movie and they were pushing all the really big Avengers multiverse related stuff to Avengers Doomsday. There's been a lot of rumors about who Sadie Sink is playing. A lot of people think that she might be playing a multiverse version of Mayday Parker, the daughter of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man in his universe, or she might be a version of Jean Grey and the X-Men characters. Personally, it's starting to sound like a lot of the scoopers out there have actually no idea who she's playing, and they're just starting to guess now. So we'll wait till we actually get some more legit information about her character before we start speculating a whole lot more about who she's actually playing in the movie. But I wouldn't be surprised if there are a little bit of multiverse-related stuff in the background, but for the most part, it does seem like it's meant to be a ground-level, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man kind of movie that also just happens to have the Hulk in the Punisher in it. They still have not revealed who the actual main villain of the movie is, but all the other scoopers also think that it's not Mr. Negative, it's somebody that nobody has mentioned before. I talked about this in one of my previous videos, but the actual costume department and the effects people posted this mood board with a lot of Asian-inspired, Japanese-inspired samurai armor, so it could actually be some Asian-inspired villain from the Marvel comics. There are a lot of people that also wondered if because of the Punisher logo on the tank here, it was going to be the hand, because the logo seemed like the Punisher's logo when he was with the hand in the comics. My early assumption is that the Punisher is not connected to the hand or anything like that, like it's just a coincidence that they're using that particular stamp, the logo on that tank. But because there's so much stuff going on during this, if there's any other Easter eggs or references that you spotted in this footage or the behind-the-scenes footage that I didn't talk about during the video, just write them below in the comments, and I'll do more videos as Sony releases more footage. We'll probably get at least one more of these before the end of the month. Everybody click here for all those other trailers that Sony posted and all the other Easter eggs and behind-the-scenes. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.